Aw.
Hey, hey,
Hi,
Chris.
everyone. I'm Chris Rouse, not Debra Silverman, even though it says that in the corner. I'm Chris Rouse, and
Mhm.
this is Carol Fant. Am I saying that right? Fant?
Fant,
Font. Font.
Fant.
Fant. All
Yeah.
right. And Carol is joining us today. She is one of our most recent level 3 graduates,
hmm
and she just came through in June. And you did 1 and 2, and then you waited a little bit to come to 3. Is that right?
I did. I was
Yeah.
going to go straight to 3, and then life had a bunch of things that happened over. I actually was signed up for 2 different level 3s, had to reschedule, and finally got there this June.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. And so, as you get the chance to reflect, and I was asking you this before we came on, like, what is it that probably had the most? What's the most impact? Like, what was the most impact on you from going through all 3 levels?
Wow. There's so much. I mean, I was thinking about that this morning, and I think when you're fascinated with astrology, as a lot of us are all our lives, but we only know just about this much. We
Right.
know, like, okay, I'm an Aquarian, and I read about what that means, in popular culture books, quirky this, whatever. That's all I know. And then I go in and I study level 1, and I learn all this stuff about the elements, and I actually see my whole chart. So I didn't know what my moon was. I had no idea about the rising sign. I knew Saturn was a planet. I didn't have any clue it had any impact on your astrological being.
Right.
So all these pieces of the puzzle started to come together. The elements, I mean, I had no idea about that. I knew about fire, earth, air, water, and other cultures, what that meant, but I had no idea, again, that it had anything to do with astrology. So learning that, I saw my chart, and I actually saw myself in a much different way. Like, I have 5 planets in Earth. I have, Grand Trine in Earth,
Mm-hmm.
Saturn in Capricorn, all this Earth in my chart. And then things started to really make sense to me. Like,
Right.
this push pull between my quirky Aquarian side and all this Earth energy that, you know, pulled me in a different direction.
Right. It wants to keep you more grounded. Right.
Right.
So that ability, we use these words a lot, but that ability to really accept yourself at a
Mhm.
deeper level.
Yeah.
And you're right, not to just buy into, oh, I'm an Aquarian, because
Right. I
that
mean,
part
what
of
does that
yourself,
mean? Yeah.
right?
You know,
Yeah.
it
And then
means nothing except, unless you look at it really, I mean, you have to see the whole picture.
you have to see the whole picture. I love that. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so true. And so if you think about it, like listening, like going back to level 1, you found out about the elements, you found out that you have 5
Right.
planets in Earth. That was super impactful, very
hmm
transformative, you would
Right.
say, right? And
Yep.
so is there any other class from that? Was it Saturn? Was it the North Node? Was it Mercury? What was the other really big aha for you?
The other huge aha, I think there's 2 big things. And then that was about the houses.
Yeah,
So
right.
again, I had no idea. I'd already, now my age, I knew about the houses from the 60s song, when the moon is in the 7th house. But, you know, I didn't know what any of that meant.
Right.
So we had to do this free write and my son is in the 12th house,
Mm-hmm.
Pisces. And so learning about that and that was like this huge eureka for me. Like, oh, I've always identified, or the more I studied about Pisces, the more I saw myself in that. The secretive part. I hate reality. I have. I'm a recovering addict, alcoholic. I've had my struggles with addiction. All these pieces of the puzzle are just like click,
Right.
and that just blew my mind. I mean, I found my free write that we did in the first class on, write about what house your sun is in.
Mm-hmm.
And it just was mind blowing to look back on that now, years later. It's like, yeah,
Right. Right.
there's so much though. I mean, like Saturn was a huge aha for me.
Right.
I mean, so it's hard for me to pick one, but I'd say, the Pisces, the house, and then of course Saturn is huge.
As it's so important in our
Right.
way that we
Yeah.
study too, right?
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I love that. You've really hit on some very big points, and that ability, as you keep saying, like to see the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not just an Aquarian, you're an Aquarian that, you know, as you guys would learn if you came to school, like in the 12th house, and you've got all this earth in your chart, and how that just that creates different nuances within, you
Right.
know, who you are and how you show up.
And I think too, that one of the things that I loved so much, and I think that, excuse me, I identified so much with Debra's philosophies is, you know, this whole exercise. I mean, it's fun. You know, I'm a studier. I love to study things.
Right.
I find this astrology fascinating, but so it's really fascinating on one level, but on a deeper level, it really is about learning to accept yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to see, you know, I was thinking about the analogy of like a puzzle, you know, and you get all the edges around and you start filling in the stuff, and there's always those couple little pieces that you just can't figure out. And these classes really helped me find those pieces and put them in and look back and go, oh, that's Carol. I get that. And it really helped me just to relax about certain things and accept myself. You know, like for instance, you know, Aquarians, I didn't know, but, you know, we can tend to be a little detached and, you know, have like this blunted emotional response to stuff. I always thought that meant there was something wrong with me. Like, you know, am I a psychopath in training? I mean, you know, like, what is my deal? You know, no, it's just who I am. It's fine. It's fine, you know, and actually that is being able to accept that is, I see now that's really helped me in my life.
Right.
You know, to be able, all that responsibility I took on as this earth mama, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it helped me to be a little detached. So
Right.
anyway, I just,
And to
there's
keep a
so
cool
many,
head in crisis, you know, that's
yeah,
such, you know, that it's like we're trying to, what we love to do with all of this is to reframe, you
right.
know, like what, yeah, exactly what you said. Like, you thought I was something wrong with me,
Yeah, I did.
you know, it's like, cause the emoting piece, right? So, you know, you didn't sign up for a watery moon. You signed up for your double Aquarius, right? So
We're
you,
double Aquarius and
yeah,
moon and Taurus. So, and you
right,
know, I grew up as a middle kid in between two cancers with a
right.
Scorpio dad. I had all this emotion around me, and I'm like, what's the big deal, people? You know,
Everybody chill out.
it's like, what is some the black sheep? You know, it's a weirdo, but I
Right.
can embrace that weirdoness, you know, and that
Yeah.
this school, I really feel like it helped me as much as any and all of the therapy that I've ever done.
Wow.
And I did not sign up for that. I was just going to learn something fun.
Right.
And it's been a mind blower. I love it.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God. That's the
Yeah.
best testimonial alone right there. It's
Yeah.
just that ability, like, you know, for those of you who are coming in to study astrology, absolutely. And what level one does is we give you the components of knowing the very basics of how to read a chart and read yourself. And we're able to also, and the self-acceptance, that's the biggest word, is that self-acceptance. And that just spurs everything else on, the self-confidence, self-esteem, you know,
Mhm.
just really being able to take care of the self and understand the self at the deepest level so that you can go out and serve. That's what I'm always saying to people. Like,
Yeah.
how am I going out to serve? Which is what you're doing now. You finished level 3
Mm-hmm.
and you're on your way out to
Yep.
do readings for other people.
Right.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love
It's
that.
super fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now going out and sharing that message with others, which is what we hope that everyone does who comes through this school. Because the more we know ourselves and accept ourselves, the more peaceful I feel like this world is going to become. Because we won't be
Exactly.
fighting for our piece of real estate, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I thought I'm going to take level 1 and it's going to be fun. And then I'm going to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, within like a week of level
Right.
1, I was already like, I'm in this for the long haul. You
Right.
know, it was there's just too much and it was too fun
Yeah.
to quit.
Yeah.
You know?
Good for you. I love it.
Yeah.
I
It was
love it.
awesome.
So
Yeah.
on that note, what would you say? There's a lot of people watching. There's a lot of people this week as the card is still open thinking
Mhm.
about, should I do it? Should I not do it? How's it really going to serve me? That kind of thing. What message would you give to them right now?
I'd just say jump. Just do it. I mean, it honestly, I got so much more out of it, like I said, than I ever expected. I expected just to learn some fun stuff. And I did. I mean, I had a blast doing it. The classes, first of all, are super fun. You know, it's not like, you know, I'm like a professional student. You know, I've done all sorts of horribly fun, hard, crazy schools. I don't want to do that anymore. I want to have fun. This
Right.
was fun. The people I met were a blast. The classes were super fun. It wasn't high pressure. I just say go for it, because it's going to be a lot more than you ever anticipate in the best possible way.
Love that.
You know,
So articulate.
thank you.
There's your air showing. Thank you so much, Carol, for sharing that.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, you heard it from one of our recent level 3 graduates. If you want to come to school, this is the time. If you want to know yourself better, if you want to have some fun, if you want to find your tribe and hang out with other people who will love you for exactly who you are, this is the place to be. Applied Astrology.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Carol. I'm so grateful.
Thanks, Chris.
Talk to you soon.
I had a blast. Okay, bye.